Hi, and welcome to My Story with CareCredit. We all have stories, but what makes these stories unique is that they are about people who are able to get life-changing treatment, procedures, or medical care for themselves, their family, and their pets. All of the people featured on My Story with CareCredit did it with their CareCredit credit card. CareCredit is a leading national healthcare credit card that can enable you to get many of the procedures and treatments you want now and pay over time with everyday promotional financing on purchases of $200 or more. CareCredit is accepted at hundreds of thousands of locations nationwide to pay for care whenever you need and want it. I'm your host, Amy Freena, and today we're talking with Donna, who shares how she was able to give her cat, Domino, a new lease on life after he was injured by a car. It's a perfect ending to a very touching story.
Hi, my name is Donna, and this is Domino, and I've been a CareCredit card holder for 2 years. He is my best buddy. He sleeps in the crook of my arm, purrs me to sleep, and he's always at the door waiting for me when I get home from work. I finally talked my mom into moving in with me, and she brought her 2 dogs with her. And we installed the doggy door. Domino figured it out and started going outside. Maybe a month later, he got hit by a car. I took him to the vet, where they did some x-rays and found out that the nerves and blood to his tail had been severed, and that his tail would have to be amputated or he'd have to be put down. And I really couldn't afford that kind of surgery. And the vet told me about CareCredit. It was a lot of money for an unexpected expense, and they pretty much saved him for me. I dropped him off in the morning, went to work, and I was able to pick him up that night. And he's been wonderful ever since. He is a happy, normal, healthy cat. My cat. Thank you, CareCredit, for saving Domino's life.
Donna, I'm so excited to hear about your CareCredit story, but I have to ask, who did you bring with you today?
This is Domino.
Hi, Domino. How old is he? It's
He
a
is
boy.
2.5 years, yes.
Okay. And what kind of cat?
It's called a tuxedo.
Okay.
Just a domestic short hair, but the black and whites are usually called tuxedos.
Okay. And how long have you had Domino?
I adopted him in July of 2017.
Was it love at first sight?
Yes. I adopted him the day I met him.
You did?
Yes.
So take me back to the beginning. Why did you fall in love with Domino?
Decided to just go and adopt a female kitten at a pet orphanage. And I applied online, and I had to select a cat that I wanted to look at, and the only black and white one was Domino. So I put selected that picture, and then when I got there, I told them I'd want a female kitten.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't have any available, but how would you like to meet Domino? Okay. So they brought Domino in and put us in a room together, and he walked around the room, and I walked around following and watched him. And then I wondered, how come they're not coming back to get him? So I put him on my shoulder and started walking around the place, and he just stayed on my shoulder and was looking around and started purring. I'm like, okay.
Fine.
Okay, I'll take
too.
Domino. And the fact that he was a year old, it's really hard to adopt a male cat that's no longer a kitten.
Right.
So I don't know that he probably would have spent his whole life at that pet orphanage if I hadn't taken him. So
You saved his life.
yeah.
So
where does your CareCredit story begin? I assume it has something to do with Domino.
Yes, it does. He had to have surgery done to amputate his tail because he got hit by a car.
Oh my gosh.
And I was told he either has to have the tail amputated or be put down.
Oh my gosh.
And there's no way I could stand for him to be put down. The vet told me about CareCredit. I applied for it and was approved that day.
Wow.
So I was able to get the surgery the following day and brought him home and nursed him back to health. Then I slept on the floor with him for 3 days.
You did.
Yeah.
What a good mama. So you were home, and then things happen, and you know you need to take him to the vet.
Yeah. He used to be a strictly indoor cat. All my cats were. And I convinced my mom to move in with me, and she brought her 2 dogs with her.
Okay.
And they were used to a doggy door. So We had one installed, and sure enough, he figured it out and started going outside. Just a few weeks later, maybe a month later, he got hit by a car
Gosh.
and broke his pelvis in 3 places.
Oh my gosh.
And his sternum was floating around. But then a couple of days later, I noticed his tail was just hanging there. And then he started licking one area, and he licked all the hair off of it. It was about, I'd say, yay big and red. And so I took him back to the vet, and that's how I found out it had to be amputated because the nerves and the blood had been cut off. So he had to go to surgery, but it was done in one day.
So how did he bounce back? Because obviously he is doing very well now.
Yes, it did take a while, though. Cats use their tail for balance, so I got to watch him stumble around a little bit, trying to learn how to walk again.
Yeah.
And he had the battle of the cone. He had to deal with that for 2 days.
Nobody likes the cone of shame.
Yep. But I eventually took it off of him before the vet told me to because he just couldn't stand it. And he took off stitches himself.
He did.
Yes, because he didn't have the cone.
Okay.
So he could hit the stitches.
Uh-huh.
But I was amazed. He took him out himself, but I took him back to the vet to make sure that was okay. And he did a really good job. It was just fine. And it's been long enough now that he's just back to his normal happy self.
That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. You're such a good mama. That's such a stressful thing.
It was. I'm surprised I'm not bawling my eyeballs out right now.
Well, we're happy. That's good. That's good. So you got the CareCredit credit card on the first visit?
No. The first visit was when I had to do the x-rays and found out about all the broken bones.
Okay.
The second visit was for the tail. It was the amputation of the tail that I could not afford.
Right.
And the vet told me about CareCredit and basically saved my cat's life.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, definitely. How did that feel? I'm sure, like, you're so stressed out with so much going on. You've already spent a fortune. Like, okay, let me just take this off my plate right now.
Yeah, I'll worry about it later. I was able to just concentrate on him.
So have you used the CareCredit credit card for anything else?
No. In fact, I didn't know I could until I was called about doing all this.
Really?
Yes, I thought it was just for pets.
Uh-huh.
But apparently I can use it for co-pays or anything for my own care.
Yes, ma'am.
I did not know that.
So you're like, now I might
know.
be using it.
Yes, I might be using it. As a matter of fact, I might be using it for some vein surgery.
Okay.
So we'll see.
All right. Well, good luck with that. Definitely.
Yeah.
If you could write a review on your experience with the CareCredit credit card, I know you had a lot going on then, but if you could write a review or tell friends and family about your experience, what would you say?
You can concentrate on getting better yourself or getting your pet better or getting your relative better and not have to worry about the money at the time.
Right.
Just, it's all handled. It will be handled.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We wish you guys the best.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's easy to see just how much she loves him. Remember, CareCredit is a leading national healthcare credit card that can enable you to get many of the procedures and treatments you want now and pay over time with everyday promotional financing on purchases of $200 or more. CareCredit is accepted at hundreds of thousands of locations nationwide to pay for care whenever you need and want it. If you are interested in applying for a CareCredit credit card or would like to find a provider in your area who accepts CareCredit, visit us at carecredit.com.